Our speaker has a master's in psychology, has a passion for mental health advocacy, and a desire to make a difference in someone's life. This comes from a shared experience of mental illness and successfully surviving an unfortunate incident. His approach derives from his experience as an adjunct professor in psychology and group dynamics, and experience as an interrogator and profiler and hostage negotiator. He has worked in law enforcement for many years with stints with the U.S. Marshals and Fort Wayne Police Department. And I'd like you to welcome to the stage Mr. Stacy Jenkins.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Frank. Appreciate that. Good morning. Okay, first of all, I move around a lot because I'm nervous and I want to get some things out. I tend to go like this a lot. It's not because of my former tactical stand like a police officer doing the duck walk. It's my virtual wall. It protects me against you because I'm nervous. And I'm insecure. And if you see me out here, I'll walk down like this because I'm afraid to make eye contact. You're like, how could you be a criminal profiler and a homicide detective and do that? Because I don't know. I don't. My name is Stacy Jenkins. I just retired April 4th, April 9th, 24 years in law enforcement, 50 years old. Before we get into this, I speak real fast. I apologize for that, but I'm very passionate about mental health and psychology. As Franklin said, I'm a student of psychology. Hopefully next year, if they bring me back, I'll be Dr. Stacy M. Jenkins. I'm working on my PhD, and hopefully I'll graduate in November. With that said, thank you. Don't clap yet, because it's like my grandma said, boy, you ain't proved nothing yet. I don't see no paperwork, so don't clap yet. Y'all jinxing me. All right. Unfortunate incident. I'll talk real fast because this is condensed, but I condensed it and I formulated the best I could, and I think it's worth it. The title of this is called Tech Lives Matter, Hands Up, Don't Reboot. Didn't mean any offense to anything else. It was just a catchy phrase, and it meant a lot to me. Basically, June 17th, 2014, I had some backaches. I was in so much pain. I was in so much pain that I had tears in my eyes. So I went to the doctor. My wife and I took me to the doctor. Doctor shot me up 3 times with Novocaine. Also gave me some prescribed painkillers and a muscle relaxer called minoxidil. Unbeknownst to my doctor, who I explained to Mr. Franklin about, he's a good man. Unbeknownst to him and myself, minoxidil is known to cause bipolar effects in rare occasions. I woke up after I went home about 4 hours later. Suddenly, I see myself consuming the whole bottle of pills, painkillers, and the minoxidil. Something in me was telling me to kill myself. I loaded my .357 Magnum. I was so high and so consumed with wanting to end my life. And I don't know why I've never experienced depression, never experienced wanting to harm my life or take my life. But I was so consumed, I literally thought I was in my Jaguar pressing the sunroof to stay awake, to go to the park to end my life because we just bought our house and I didn't want my wife finding me there. By the grace of God, I passed out in my unmarked squad car at the curb. A civilian saw me, saw the badge, the Indiana badge license plate, said, hey, there's an undercover cop or a detective in an unmarked car. He's passed out. Naturally, cops come running lights sirens. Knocked on the window. Jinx, you okay? Jinx is a nickname. There's 17 of us in law enforcement. We're all called Jinx. My mom calls us the black version of Blue Bloods. We went, flashed the light, said, what are you doing out this late? I said, I'm going to Krieger Park. He said, for what? I said, to kill myself. Exited me from the vehicle. Again, long story short, I ended up being arrested for operating while intoxicated. Our policy says if someone's facing a mental illness, a mental crisis, you take them, if they're not involved in a felony, anything else, an infraction or a misdemeanor, you take them to a psychiatric facility to get psychiatric help. I ended up trying to hang myself while I was in the cell, in a fetal position, crying in front of all my peers, my officers. These guys knew me, knew my brother, knew my family. When the mistake was made, and I don't like blaming people, but at the end of the day, 12 hours later, they realized they were supposed to send me to get psychiatric help. They shipped me off to a psychiatric facility where I was for 7 days. Again, they've known me for 24 years. My brother, my father, my uncle, didn't call my wife or anybody. 3 days in a psychiatric facility, and no one knew where I was. That's the short version of it. Now I'm going to explain to you why I'm here. First of all, I'd like to thank DevOps for giving me this opportunity. I got over 16 different lectures talking about anything from how to profile the next Edward Snowden in your company. We talk about firewalls, cybersecurity, but I'm telling you how to profile individuals that's in your company that's going to take your data and steal it. Everybody wants to hear that talk. Everybody wants to hear how to use hostage negotiation techniques to build teamworks. They want to hear that. This is my favorite lecture. So I'd like to thank DevOps. If we could give them a real quick hand of applause, please, because they show they care about your health. This lecture will give hope and inspiration. As I just told you, my struggle with the ability to communicate effectively. And if I'm moving too fast, hey, let me know. But this is Texas, and y'all do love your guns, so I just think it'd be cool if I move real fast. Okay, it's called, being a former federal agent, I worked with Secret Service agents, and this is called the presidential move. So, okay, that was an inside joke. All right, I talked about my discussion about PTSD, and I was open about it. Spoke to someone. I want to thank the two gentlemen that I talked to because I was nervous about even talking about this story. I wasn't supposed to talk about it. Long story short, again, I ended up getting compensated very handsomely for mistakes that were made because I wrote the protocol on how we deal with mentally ill individuals, and it was overlooked. But I didn't want you to judge me, saying, "Oh, this guy, he's gonna, does he still have those issues?" And so I was afraid to mention it. Two gentlemen I met yesterday encouraged me to talk about it, so I thank them for that. The goal is to offer solutions and support to individuals who are affected by stress in the IT community. That's the whole topic of this lecture, ladies and gentlemen. Again, you got employee inputs. We can get together, you can get together and input. You can be better task contents. Hey, how many people, by a show of hands, have supervisors that really don't have people skills? Raise your hands. Come on, we're not at work. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna raise your hand for it. Okay, put it like this. How many people think they got a lousy supervisor? Keep your hands down. Okay, there we go. Oh, thank you. All right. Now, y'all want to play like that? I'm going to teach you like I do my students. Oh, man, Jesus. Oh, they see the craziness coming out of me. They're speaking for me. Okay. Okay, we want to inspire companies. We want to inspire companies and the employees to become influential and to endorse a secure environment and compassion regarding stress and mental health. Because it's not only up to you. We can sit here and we can talk about methods all day long, ladies and gentlemen. Methods, how to breathe right, how to be me, how to let the crazy side of you out sometimes, how to even talk to yourself, how to use the Dr. Dre method. But we have to do it together. And the main individuals are the leaders, the companies themselves. Tech Live Matter, hands up, don't reboot. This lecture is based off, all my lectures, especially this one, is based off research. I did a speech for a culinary arts convention. They wanted me to do something about stress in the culinary arts field. I'm like, what? And then they mentioned this guy named Anthony Bourdain. So I did research, and I interviewed individuals in the culinary arts field. And come to find out there was stress. I said, okay. Come to find out there's stress in the tech business as well. You guys have stress just like any other profession. And so what I did was I devoted this time to IT-specific and employee assistant agendas. And key takeaways from this. What we all want after this is to deal and know about stress and the onset of stress. because it's here. Some of us may not even know it. I didn't even know I was stressed out sometimes. You know, I woke up that day feeling like the worst father in the world because my daughter was in a vehicle pursuit with the gang unit. I'm at a hostage negotiation seminar. The gang unit's calling me, Jinx, come get your daughter. She's crying. She was in the back seat. We were in a vehicle pursuit. She's the only one that stayed. And she said, my daddy, Stacy Jenkins, Detective Jenkins, please come get me. I said, no, let her stay. I was so mad. Let her stay. I ended up getting, well, I'm not going to mention that because every time I mention that story, I tear up, so I'm not going to say that. But what happened was I found out she was sexually assaulted a week before that, and 2 girls beat her up after she got bailed out. And I woke up feeling like the worst father in the world. And that was stress, and I didn't realize it. Here I am saying, oh, no kid of mine's going to embarrass me. And I woke up feeling like the worst father in the world. We have stress at our place of employment. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about how to mentally support yourself. Recognize the best methods in a tense situation. What people on the outside looking in don't see. I'm going to tell you, as a homicide detective, when I'm doing a cold case or working on a case or researching the background or profiling social media accounts of gangbangers or of individuals, see what's their next move going to be or where they're going to hide out at. My computer breaks down. I call tech support. IT guy comes up there, fixes the computer. I don't think that they have a high level of stress, but they do, especially if you're dealing with somebody like me whose computer crashes frequently because of certain sites I visit. But not the sites out there, hey man. Whoa. I thought we was at a tech conference now. I don't know what y'all thinking about. Now, if y'all thinking about something else, hey, I like your boy. But if you're not, then let's keep our minds focused on technology, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Let's leave the trash outside. Yeah, okay. But they do. It's frustrating sometimes. Okay, do it again. By a show of no hands. How many people get frustrated sometimes at their job? Thank you, see? Yes. Not him back there. Oh, I love my job, buddy. The best job in the world. You know, I've been trying to, I don't mean to insult anybody from Texas, but man, y'all got the, I love Texas. I grew up on J.R. Ewing. Matter of fact, after I leave here, I'm going to the Dallas South Fork Ranch to take a tour. So, yeah. So I love that. But we do. Our jobs are stressful. Any job is stressful, especially these jobs, because the demands in the IT field can cause increased blood pressure leading to stress. In your field, we're talking about IT. We're not talking about law enforcement. We're not talking about culinary arts. We're not talking about first responders, individuals in the armed services. We're talking about technology, individuals in the IT community. Your jobs, sometimes the task can be boring or tedious. You have high demands. It can be a burden. And the absence of control itself. You may not have that control that you want. This can be so frustrating. Poor managerial interactions, we already talked about that. The technology and the effective technology. You're working with outdated technology, outdated tools, outdated methods. And most of all, it's a story I heard yesterday when I was out talking to the 2 gentlemen that encouraged me to tell my personal story. Fear of losing your jobs. Now, I've never once thought that because you know why? I'm on the outside looking in. These things arise when the demands of our careers don't fit our capabilities, our skills, what we're required to do as an employee. You get frustrated when your capabilities are beyond what you expected. Everybody says, Jinx, why? People think I retired because I was bitter about what happened. I'm 50 years old. I could have retired when I was 52 or 55. I retired because the game of homicide has not changed. People are always going to die. People are always going to get mad at each other, and death is always going to prevail when you have a gun battle. The game hasn't changed. It's just got more fierce, and it got frustrating. In '94, when I stepped on the scene, only 6 months on the streets, I was promoted to a detective. A year after that, promoted to homicide detective, and I had my own squad. People were knocking on my door at my house, braining their kids, saying, hey, tell Detective Jenkins what you just did. They would brain. Now they got this thing called the G code where people don't talk. And what's the phrase? Snitches get stitches, or don't snitch. It's hard to solve anything. Went to a homicide scene the other day. Our homicide scene, my last homicide investigation. The lady victim came up to me and said, well, do you know who the suspect is? I said, ma'am, I just got here. I'm putting on my footies, my gloves, everything. She said, do you know who the suspect is? I said, no. She said, well, did you get his DNA yet? I said, no. She said, well, we'll spray that thing in the air to collect their DNA. I looked at her, I said, what? I'm like, where'd you get this from? Guess what? Somebody said it starts with a C. CSI. That's when I knew it was time to get out of the game. My twin brother's an FBI agent. He said, we don't even have stuff like that. We don't have computer screens that are, you spread that and the map opens up. It's a misconception. And when the public sees that, they think we have that capability. I'm walking around with 1996 bullets in my gun. Rust coming out of it. I pull my gun out, it's just dust. Freeze, dust is coming out. Because we don't have the training to go to firearms frequently. Is that frustrating? Is that stressful? Yes. But it doesn't matter, because my version of what I just displayed about stress, you can equal it to your version of stress and your frustration with the job. Work stress arises in response to both work environment and the work factors. Your environment. How many people, by show of hands, this time by a show of hands, there's no trick move, okay? Let's just be honest with ourselves. How many people, okay, in a show of hands, are in a good work environment? Okay, y'all bosses must be here. Okay, all right, that's cool though, that's cool, hey. Your boss is over here sitting, James, how come your hand isn't raised? Oh, sorry, boss, I'm here. I love this place. It's the greatest place in the world. So, and work factors, your environment. Work stress happens to be one of the most significant health issues in the world, in the modern time. And you know why? Because we don't realize that. We're happy, we graduate, we get out of college, we get our certificate, we get that interview, we get that job, bam, I'm in. My foot is through the door. We get that, and we're happy, but we don't realize that it's one of our biggest problems. It's one of our biggest causes of stress. We're gonna teach you how to utilize one's social skills to help you improve. Build more social activity. Even if you don't like social media, you can get on, you can see people make fools of themselves, act silly. You don't even have to respond back. Schedule weekly, monthly routines or outings. Go karaoke with your friends. Request that your company implements a discounted rate to a fitness facility, or walk or run. Pick a hobby. I binge watch once a month. I pick, and that's me. I get my me time. Be yourself. Be silly. Let that silly person come out. Sometimes talk to yourself, not in front of crowds, of course, not at an airport, that damn flight attendant, I'll kick her at, next thing you know, TSA is, y'all walking up, Okay, talk to yourself. I talk to myself a lot, I talk to myself, I pray out loud sometimes, but I'm by myself because it's my time. Give yourself a me day. Be positive. Keep a positive mindset. All right, we're gonna talk real quick about the Dr. Dre method. It's a method I made up after my incident, something to keep me sane. We're gonna talk about how to download, reroute, delete, reboot, and encrypt your stress. Download the cause of stress. Determine what's the cause of stress. If you don't know what the cause of stress is, hey, we ain't getting nowhere. We might as well stay here. We might as well just pop pills, go take medication, skip therapy. I believe in therapy. I don't believe in medication. Medication gained me 75 pounds. Wow. Only time in my life I was grateful for gaining weight and getting this gut was this morning when I woke up and I put on my pants and I forgot I didn't have a belt. I forgot my belt. I'm like, Lord Jesus, please let these pants be tight. And I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus. I was. True story. Use a mental router to detect the stress and secure it in your mind. You got to find out what that stress is. Once you do, just secure it in the back of your mind. Imagination is the biggest tool we have to fight stress, ladies and gentlemen, because our minds are the most strongest tool we have. Our ability to think, creativity. Learn to delete future stress. If you learn to delete that stress, hey, and you got a method to how to delete it, whether it's walking, running, talking to somebody, whatever, and if it works, keep it. Like the adage goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Reboot yourself to focus on the positive. Get rid of that negativity, ladies and gentlemen, and think about the positive. Again, reboot that negativity and think on positive things. If you got a date, if you got time to spend with your kids, if there's a new CD coming out, if there's a new show on Netflix coming out, something. Think of something positive that you're looking forward to and concentrate and focus on that. Encrypt your mind to secure to the positive parts. If you even have, even give it a password. Basically what you're doing is, once you have that method of how to reboot it, and it's a positive and effective method, lock it in your mind and use it continuously until it doesn't work anymore. And if it doesn't work anymore, then redo it. Restart it over. How you go? Code, is that right? Code it, or reprogram it. This was supposed to play the song to Rick James, and he was supposed to go like this in slow motion. So basically what I'm saying is, any questions? Any questions? Okay, I'm a big advocate of imagination. So if I step off the stage, I'm gonna pretend that one of y'all asked me a question, and I'm gonna answer it for you. Stepping down. Got my tactical move on you. Tango to your left. How you doing, sir? What's your name? Stacey. My name's Stacey Jenkins.
My name is Hemanta.
Hemanta? Okay. All right. You have a question for me? You don't? I'll ask one for you. Okay. Yes, sir. Oh, thank you, sir. You'll never find. Hey, I always wanted to do that. Thank you. Okay. Now I got to use my deep voice. Stress, unfortunately, is not going to go away. If you fight stress, if you battle today's stress, there may be tomorrow's stress. But ladies and gentlemen, I hate seeing this word. My ex-wife used to say, I hate when you say trust me. I hate when you say trust me. So now I changed it around, visualized myself talking to her, and I said the new word. Ladies and gentlemen, I know what I'm talking about, okay? It works. You don't have to use this Dr. Dre method. You don't even have to use this method. All I know is it works, and it saved me. It got me off of medication. I weaned myself off of medication. I was diagnosed with PTSD, anxiety, depression. I was misdiagnosed so many times. When I was in the lockup, my hands were shaking and my legs were shaking. They diagnosed me with alcohol withdrawal syndrome. They didn't know, because they wouldn't allow my wife to come visit me, that I suffer from tremors. That's why I have a lapel mic. I don't hold this because, again, my insecurities are afraid that you're going to see my hands shake. Yeah, all you have is just a few minutes. Just sit. I was going to say trust me, but I didn't. I know what I'm talking about. Try it. When you go home tonight, when you go to your hotel room or whatever, just sit 5 minutes, even when you're in the bathroom, shower. Talk to yourself. Talk out loud. You don't even have to talk out loud. Just think. Just think to yourself. And you'll see how much stress comes out, how much relief you feel, how much tension. Do silly things. Bring that silly side out of you. Best time in my life is when I'm on stage speaking. I've been speaking for almost a year now, and I've been traveling the world. I go to University of Michigan next month, or next week, or this weekend. You know? I'm so excited, y'all make me forget where I'm at. How does that happen? It's because I'm like excited. You can hear the passion in my voice. You can hear the excitement. My students say I'm animated, you know? And I am animated because I'm excited about it. I believe in this. I believe in having a healthy, stress-free work zone. Please don't forget me, ladies and gentlemen, because this is important. If I could touch one life, then you have touched my life. That's 2 lives touched. It's important that we take care of ourselves, okay? I've come to the fact that I don't look like LL Cool J anymore. I've come to realize I don't have that six-pack anymore. That's why I'm getting liposuction before I go on TED Talks. Anyway, true story, I already scheduled. I'm sorry. I got to. I'm single. I gotta look good. I need a woman. Okay. But any other questions? I can pick somebody else. You have a question, sir? You just like ready to take the mic from me? Okay, he's taking the mic from me. Y'all pulling me off stage. No. Oh, okay.
Get a question.
Thank you.
Bring the mic out.
Any questions? Because I like moving around. This is the first time I was in Budapest and it was this high up. I came out to music, dancing and stuff. Again, I didn't realize how much weight I gained. You can see it on YouTube. It's on there. I'm like, okay, hey everybody, how y'all doing? Hey, my name's Stacey Jenkins, and I'm breathing real heavy. So, sir, how you doing? My name's Stacey Jenkins.
Nice to meet you.
Your name?
Sean.
Sean. You got a question for me?
Sure.
Hey, all right. Okay. See, my profiling skills work because I knew Sean was going to ask a question. See?
What motivates you the most to keep going?
Just to be, you know what? It's a new life for me. When in April the 9th, when I retire, I said, no more dead bodies, no more crying mothers, no more drama. When I get my PhD, I don't even want to be a therapist or a counselor. All I want to do is research and talk. And I feel 25 years old when I'm up here. I do, because like I said, all my speeches are original. I interview people for them, and I just love doing this. I do, I'm excited. I love traveling. I don't even call Fort Wayne my home anymore. You know, I just love it. I love life again, ladies and gentlemen. Love life. I do. Thank you, Sean. Any more questions? Okay, man. See what it does? We got somebody raising their hand, making me walk all this way here, so. Yes, sir. How you doing? Stacey Jenkins.
Hey, Mike Neckard.
I believe in talking, introducing, and shaking hands. Yes, sir.
Stacey, I'm loving the talk, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
I'm not always that great at reading people.
Mm-hmm.
I would never make it as a profiler, zero convictions.
You would if I told you there's a method to picking up women. Come out with me tonight. Trust me. Come out with me tonight. I'm going to do karaoke. I love karaoke. My theme song's Me and Mrs. Jones. Go ahead.
How can we get better at spotting the signs of stress in the people we're working with or the people who work for us? I don't want to be one of those managers who's oblivious.
You know what? You can see in their work productivity, the way they talk, if their speech is faster. You can see it, like I always say, they say as a hostage negotiator never say, I know how you feel. I did that once. A guy jumped off a bridge. You know why? Because I don't know how he feels. His wife left him, my wife left me, but his wife wasn't named Bonnie. He didn't live at 7227th Allen Boulevard. It was different. You say, I can hear, you listen for their expression, because what I say, as I say, I see the pain in your eyes. I hear the pain in your voice. Let's sit down and talk about it. You can tell by their behavior, work productivity is number one. They're going to come because they feel if they don't, they're going to get fired or somebody's going to replace them. So they're forced to come to work. Instead of being glad to come to work, they're forced to come to work. That's added stress. Sit down, talk to them, have monthly team meetings. And you'll know, once you get to know who they are and you know their personality, you know that change. It's just like a relationship. It's like a marriage. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Are we out of time? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I'm serious about karaoke. I love karaoke. I'm gonna go find a karaoke spot after I visit the South Fork Ranch. So, thank you. And I was joking about picking up women. I don't use those skills, so thank you for that.